The greatest gift, the greatest sacrifice you can give to God is yourself, not gifts. You say, but I have given him nothing to him today. And yes, you have. Even today, you've given him something of yourself. You've given him your time by showing up and being in his presence. You prepared for a journey this morning by getting up, getting dressed, and ready to seek a king. You got in your cars and used your gas and came to church. Some of you will give before the day is out. The fact is that worship requires sacrifice. The wise men sacrificed. It's the last thing. Yesterday, standing there watching that little old lady, the grandmama, little walker, too bad yay tall, asked for that blanket. My heart, standing in the back of the room, went squish. We all looked at each other. When you seek Christ, will you, as a wise person, follow after him? You're going to be transformed. It said of the disciples, they were unlearned men. In Acts, they're doing these miracles. They're affecting the leadership of their nation. And the people are saying, well, these are average Joes. These are Joe Lunchbox. They're fishermen. They're nobody. They're not even educated. By the way, D.L. Moody was never ordained in his entire life. Never went and got a PhD. Yet he transformed a generation to the point where we're still feeling the effects of his ministry. They were unlearned things. God says, I'm going to use the humble to confound the wise. Why are we the mouse that roars as a church? Why is this little church? Do you realize, I was counting some numbers. We're now into our 4th year. We have seen 44 individuals come to Christ in 4 years. Twice the national average of churches. Our giving to missions tripled this year. Didn't go up 10%. It tripled. You, not me, you have given out 1,500 Bibles in 4 years. We've sent a missionary, or 2, actually 3, I think, out from our midst. God is using us because he's transformed us. You know, they were unlearned men. They were nobodies. And what did God do? Here's what God did. He got a hold of their hearts, and people looked at them and said, wow, there's something different about these guys. They've been with Jesus. Have anybody ever walked up to you and said, there's something different about you? What is it? Yeah, they do that all the time. Yeah, you're weird, okay? But no, has somebody ever walked up and said, what is it about you? What is so? You see, they were changed by the presence of who this Christ was. Why do I say that? Because you see, at the very end of the story that Jeff read this morning, they changed their plans and went back a different way because they were warned in a dream. God spoke to them. It's interesting that after they worshiped the Christ, they could not go back the same way that they had come. And that has to be true for you and I as we seek and serve him. We have to get to the place of our personal experience where when we have met Christ, when God has got a hold of our hearts, when he has transformed us from the inside out, that we never go back the same way. Because God's about to do something spectacular and new. Jacob wrestled with God and never walked away. He was never the same the rest of his life. Isaiah stepped into the presence of God and proclaimed, woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. He was never the same again. Job questions God over and over. He wrestles with it. He doubts. He's having issues with God himself. He suffers. And when God shows up, Job says, I am speechless. I am in awe. Words fail me. I should have never opened my mouth. I talk too much. Way too much. I'm ready to shut up and listen. He was a changed man. If you're a wise man, You're going to be changed. And you see, that brings us to the last thing. Why is men still serving? There's a purpose for the exercise. We do what we do because we've been changed. Because we have found faith. Because we have met and worshiped the God of glory. And we'll never be the same again. This morning, I want to challenge you. This Advent conspiracy, it's no secret what God's doing. God's doing some miraculous stuff. He really is. He's using us to make a difference in this world. He's using you to make a difference in this world.